Hi everybody, it's Kenny K here, and I wanted to talk to you about. Got my notebook here. Sorry. Oh yeah. I actually did a lot of reviews right now. So, Day of the Dead from 1985. How could I forget? It gets a 7 point. It gets 7.1 on IMDb. It gets a 7.5 from me. In my opinion, it's one of the best Day of the Deads you got from the first trilogy. Okay, from the first trilogy, it's the best you're gonna get. The only shame you're gonna get is you're not gonna get to see more set pieces, and that's a real shame. That's a real shame. Sorry. That's a real shame. And Lori Cordelia is in this. She is as Dr. Sarah Bowman. Uh, Terry Alexander as John. Sorry, Terry Alexander. Oh, as John, yeah, the helicopter pilot, and then he's befriend with McDermott. He's the radio guy. Joseph Pilato, who was also in Dawn of the Dead and in Pulp Fiction. He was one of the gangsters. He's Captain Rhodes in this. And apparently he's in every film. He's in every film. Um, and you've got a few of his privates underneath him. You've got Steele, you got Rickles, you got you got the Greg Nicotero, who's Private Johnson, and you also got Doctor Doctor Ted Fisher, who's apparently he's the short story of Creepshow of Where's My Cake. He is the zombie playing Where's My Cake. If you've seen that, beautiful. If you've never seen it, it's just 80s galore. Um, Now, looking. So what happens is they go to a town and basically they with a helicopter, and it's cool. And I think their budget was like $3.4 million, the highest they ever got. But actually, that's still not a lot because they still had to completely abandon a city. It's a small city, and this city was abandoned completely. And then when uh, Salazar was yelling "hello" over the fucking over the loudspeaker, he's he at some point all these zombies come out, all these zombies, all this you see the wind strike, and you see, and it hits against the wall, the dead walk. It's super cool. And eventually John says to McDermott, because Billy's his name, his first name, don't do it, Billy. It's a dead town. You can listen. You can hear it over the blades. Then you hear the sound of over the blades, and then he says, "Oh Jesus Christ!" He's taking a schlock of drink. He's constantly drinking schlocks of booze because okay, eventually, yeah, there. A cool scene is two cops come out of this police station, and behind them is a fucking real alligator. Real alligator comes with them. Jeez, they really up their game with that, and uh, but I think they put a lot of their budget in that one too. Now, at so what happens is they fly. They see all the zombies coming at the helicopter, but the first zombie who arrives is called Dr. Tongue. He's the one who's just blocking the sun, and you see this complete his under chin is completely bitten off. He only has his front over he did the these teeth left, and his tongue. I mean, that was so cool. That was so cool. I mean, Tom Savini, man, you did for all these zombies. You have to understand. Dawn of the Dead, he did the same shit. He did the same. He did it. The zombies in. I think he did them in Night of the Living Dead. He did them in Dawn of the Dead in Day, and Day was a little bit of disappointment. He said it himself because some zombies look blue, some look greenish. The zombies didn't look well. They didn't look well, but he had to work like, come on, we need more zombies, and accept the fact that he was making zombies. He had to play the role of, I think his role was Snake or something. No, Blades. Blades was his role, one of the motorcycle gang. And he didn't have a lot of zombies you can ride home to. You know, we had the zombie at the small airport with the eye out his head, and that was something. And then the I mean, you didn't have a lot of zombies. Now, what happens eventually is every day soldiers die. Apparently, the last one that died was Major Cooper. Now, Major Cooper was the leader of this military unit. Now, this was a military unit to protect this research unit. Now, the part is now you've got Captain Rhodes, who thinks in reverse. He thinks this is now a military unit, and the science unit can kiss his bare ass. That's basically what he thinks. Uh, and he says, if you not come up with results, we're gonna leave this fucking island, and we're gonna leave you in this cave, and we go with the helicopter. And then John says, you can't get us all off. You can't. The helicopter cannot hold so many people because John is sort of on a team of Sarah and McDermott too, and Ted too. But then there is this. Oh, then we should kill a few people, right? Then he takes a gun. He aims at Sarah, and he's like, steal. Then he take, because he has this cool belt with two cold Python revolvers. He yeah, and here an extra for a 9 millimeter issue and an M16, and he says to kill, that bitch if she wants to leave. Um, then she is sitting there, and tensions get right up, and and then she doesn't want to leave. She has to sit down. That's the thing. She has to sit down, but she doesn't wanna be ordered by these goons, And then he still is like, "Come on, lady." He's like, he doesn't want to shoot her too, and and then everybody, and then John, the helicopter pilot, takes his gun out, and then other soldiers take their guns out, and not everybody. And then John says, "You see this, Rhodes? You see this happens?" And then you see, and then McDermott is like, "Oh, whoa," drinking a shot off his straw. Oh, okay. She takes a chair, sit down. Are you happy? Yes. She says, "No, I'm not happy because there are no results. There are no what you're fucking doing here." And then you hear somebody coming in. Uh, we're losing, Captain. A billion to one, I believe. Uh, and you need to fix it. The Dr. Frankenstein, hello. And then that's Dr. Logan, his real name. Um, he says, "Is there any food I didn't eat yet?" And then Rhodes is like, uh, "Are you gonna tell me what's happening? Is there any food because I didn't eat yet?" "I'm running this monkey farm, you son of a bitch, and you get your food when I am ready." "Is there any food yet?" Jesus Christ. Uh, it's Rhodes and Logan couldn't get under each other's skin super hard, and then it's funny, and then you see McDermott. Oh, this isn't gonna go. Look, this isn't gonna don't this is not gonna go good. And eventually, they stop the meeting. They go away, and John says, "Listen, we've gotta make a plan because no nobody's needed anymore at some point. The doctors they don't need you anymore. They need McDermott for the radio, they need me for the helicopter, and they need the military, and that's all. They don't need anybody." Then there's this moment, a silent moment between her and Private Salazar, because uh, he wasn't bit or something, but I think he broke something, and she gives him she wants to give him a shot, and he gets away with that fucking filth. "Oh, you like that, Sarah? Uh, Dope me up, and then you can do what you like, you stupid bitch. How you like that?" Then he goes to her and slaps her a few times, like, "Fucking." Then she pricks him. "Fucking bitch, you fucking bitch." he's completely fucked up. He's completely full, but he's useless. He's useless, and constantly. So when they meet Logan, they meet Bub, this sort of trained zombie who effectively he can effectively eat on command. He can talk. You can be around him. He will not kill you. But the problem is, this took weeks to months to at least months to create. And Sarah's asking, "What are you feeding him?" Uh, Doctor Logan, Sarah Logan, Doctor Sarah. I mean, she he's saying, uh, he lets the freezer open, and he see all the dead bodies of all the dead soldiers. And he said, "Don't worry, I buried them outside, so they think they're buried." Oh my God! Oh my God! Do you think what they do to us, Logan? And then you have Rhodes. He knows now. He sees this. Who killed my men? You, Dr. Frankenstein, you motherfucking asshole, you piece of shit. He shoots him down, and then, you know, basically chaos happens. They have a few zombies in the compound where they can experiment on. They open the gates of the zombies, but then shit happens and Salazar awakes, and then he goes upstairs, and on the platform with the hell where it's open light, the helicopter's there. He goes upstairs and he goes to the chain where all the zombies are, like, "Oh." He opens the change, and he goes to the platform. He's like, uh, he's like doing this. Uh, and then all the zombies fall on him and start to eat him, and then you see his skin being torn off and things like that. Again, kudos to the special effects. He opens the gate. Now all the zombies from the platform are in, and at some point, the Rickle, Steel, Torrance, they see the zombies. They get the fuck away, but all the zombies are here now, and from the other side, from the where they're holding them, they're now basically um, surrounded by zombies, and Rickles gets killed in a fucked up way. He's like laughing. And they're basically tearing off his fucking skin, and you see his eyeball being teared off, and his mouth is basically ripped off, and then Torrance is and then he jumps on a wooden board, but he's bad mistake, because he's pinned down by zombies on the legs and on the head, and then his head is being pulled off, and then at some point Steel wants to ambush Bub, but then he gets bitten in the arm. He shoots a few, but he commits suicide. And then, of course, now the group of the group of the Dr. Sarah and Dr. Ted Fisher. He got killed during the exchange of the pilots. He got killed. They kept Sarah, but they rescued her. John rescued her, and McDermott and Sarah and John are in these catacombs trying to find their way out now, and he's constantly like doing he's oh, zombie. He takes a shovel and because he has no ammo or something or rifles, he takes zombie. It's like, it's fun. It's fun. I like McDermott. I like McDermott's attitude, and John was realistic, and he said, "What what's the point on living, and what's the point on where are we gonna go?" And this was so, and that was really, I mean, on point, you know. And then the last one who has to die was Captain Rhodes. He basically, gets shot multiple times by Bub. He's going to a door. He opens the door. He says, "Fuck you, Bob. Fuck you, Bob." And then he opens the door, and there are all these zombies, and they're tearing him up. Now the fucked up part was that all the guts were real animal guts. They were apparently laying there, but the freezers had problems, and the freezers had they were apparently shut down. So all these guts in a really hot temperature start to stink, start to the zombies needed to there's if you see well you see zombies with uh like Vicks on the Vicks oil underneath their nose, things on things in their nose, but the only one who couldn't do that was Rose, and he's saying something like "choke on them, choke on them," and then what apparently he says is choke on them, choke on the guts, but he was it had to be done 4 times, and 4 times you see people spewing their guts out, and just Pilatus said, I almost had to do it. I I've worked at a farm or something like that, or worked on as a kid with stinky, really stinky odors, and that's the reason why you can take those odors. But it's crazy. And eventually they they make it up. John meets McDermott and Sarah. He gives them guns, and you see this big fight against these upcoming zombies. Around there's those cold pythons killing all the zombies that are in the way, going up to the chopper. Sarah opens the door of the chopper. There's a zombie in. Flash to black, and they're on an island. McDermott is trying to read. John is trying to fish, and she is sunbathing. And she's, you know, crossing off a new day. and every day is a new day, is a day worth living, and that's in her mind. In this world, it's in her mind a day worth a day. A good day is a day worth living. And those Day of the Dead, I like Day of the Dead much more than Night of the Living Dead or Dawn of the Dead. The only thing I the only thing I sort of um, missed was the fact that had such they had all these cool characters, and because characters weren't the problem, they were all good, they were all fleshed out. Even the privates, the simple private, one's a wheat farmer, one's an alcoholic, one's is very aggressive one, and they're all fleshed out. And it would have been cool that they looked a little bit around their area outside, but I don't think they had the budget to do that, and they sorry they didn't have the this to do that. So yeah, Day of the Dead, can only recommend it, as it's my favorite zombie movie. It's top of the creme for me. It's Day of the Dead. It's the best of the best zombie movies. If you ask me which is one of the best, it's number one from George A. Romero. God rest in peace. It's Tom Savini did excellent work. I think Greg Nicotero did a little bit of work on this, so excellent work for him too. So it's just great. The special effects, the bloody special effects, great. I mean, it's just great. It's just a great movie. There's nothing to say bad about it. There's nothing to say bad about it. In my opinion, there's nothing to say bad about it. The acting was good. The acting was funny at some times. The acting was tense at some times because you felt the tension from not only zombies but also between the soldier group and the science group, and then you had the helicopter group. You had three groups: helicopter group, science group, and soldier group. The helicopter group was like, we don't care, we we don't we're just sitting here waiting what to happen, and what happens we go and we follow. So that's basically what they're doing. They're just waiting the outcome. And then the science guys, they're trying their best, but meanwhile Logan is being called Frankenstein, and he's being a real Frankenstein and doing fucked up things to the moment these guys get killed, when they're trying to find when they're hauling new zombies from the hallways, uh the two of private get killed. One gets bitten in the neck, one is shot by the M16 while he's bitten in the neck. uh he says against Steel, shoot me, I don't want to be like them. He shoots him in the head. I mean, and then at that time also Salazar's hand gets bitten off, and then you know Sarah, the doctor, she cuts off his hand with a machete, and then uses uses a torch to torch it, so she's early, early to stop the infection. But she says bullshit. You're not early. It's bullshit. And then you've got and then he says, "You've got problems now, Flyboy. You got problems now." And now you've got two groups basically. You've got the doctors and the flight team, and the soldiers against them. And yeah, and at some point the soldiers are winning. They have them, and then they lose them because they hear an alarm go off, and it's Salazar, because like I said, Salazar is upstairs. He's letting the zombies in. He already let the zombies in from the caves with the it had this makeshift door that opens like this and this. He did like this. All these zombies came in. All these so they were already infested with zombies, and they were like, "Oh fuck!" And they were completely unorganized. Shoot, you had Torrance, you had Rickles, you had Steele, and you had Captain Rhodes. Captain Rhodes not being a captain, not being a fucking commanding officer. He's just screw it. Just he takes this chart, and he drives away in the tunnels, and then the rest is like, "Steele, you asshole!" And then they're like they're basically left behind. Steele runs after Rhodes, and the two other ones are basically killed there, because Rickles is out of his mind. He's just and he's like and while he's being torn apart, he's still laughing. It's pretty gruesome. It's pretty gruesome. And Thorn's, like I said, his head gets torn off, and it makes this sound. He makes this sound like ah ah, and then ah, then I never heard that sound. Never heard that sound. Wait, yeah. So, like I said, great movie. The soldiers lose, Rhodes lose. They get to an island. They get to the beach. They live another day, uh, and that's what they wanted, to live another day and to live for that day. And that day they have. That's why she crossed over that day. She says, "Now I have a peaceful day." So, subscribe. See you next time, and let's have some fun.